Hi friends, Justin Kramer, President of Pyle Financial Services. Wanted to take just a moment and say thank you for your relationship. At some point over the last several months and even a couple of years, we've been in dialogue with one another over what it is that we do at Pyle Financial Services and how that may or may not fit into your financial well-being and life as a family. And we've spent the last several weeks, as you could imagine, walking with and walking through all the mixed emotions and news and media that's gone on over the last couple of weeks since we saw the market turn over in what appears to be or feels to be a free fall from February 20th until now. Fortunately, with our clients in 26 states, we've had the pleasure of going through many of these type of episodes. And what we wanted to do was take a moment and talk to you. We're not assuming that your financial professional is providing any kind of clarity. We're not assuming that your financial team and tax professionals are helping you understand what does this market gyration mean in light of your personal situation. We wanted to take the time and tell you what we're telling our clients. So let's go back a couple of weeks and walk through that for a moment. We had been preparing for our clients some sort of double-digit gyration in the market. It's an election year. We had an excellent year last year in the markets and in our client portfolios. And so we had built a pretty sizable cash position in most of our client accounts. Now, nobody knew it was going to be coronavirus, and certainly nobody knew it was going to be in the first 120 days of the new year. However, what we were able to take advantage of, and what we are currently able to take advantage of, is some really neat buying opportunities. But the question that you're probably asking yourself, that most investors are asking right now is this a repeat of 2008? And I want to give you a handful of reasons with a very strong conviction and data why we don't think that's the case at all. Number one, in January and February of this year, so just several weeks ago, the overall U.S. economy was growing. It's expanding. In fact, we added as a country 273,000 jobs in both January and February. That almost never happens. As we roll off of a Christmas season and holiday seasonal workers, you almost never get those kind of job growth numbers. So the economy was expanding. Wage growth was up nearly 4% during that same time period, and we were looking at significant GDP growth as well as double-digit corporate profits year over year. All of this tells us that the underlying economy was very, very healthy, which was not the case in 2008. In fact, an example we've used in the past is the 2008 economy was a lot like a cloud. Once you get to it, you just kind of keep falling right through until you hit the ground. The economy today is a lot more like a 2x4, where something heavy may hit it and it'll bend a little bit, but it's not going to break. I was talking with a retailer down in the Charleston area, so fairly close to here, and he told me just a couple of weeks ago before this started that his individual retail store had a better month in February, which is shortened and usually his worst month of the year, had a better month in February than the previous two Christmases. You want to look at the underlying health of the economy, look at small businesses. Reason number two why this is vastly different than 2008. The banks are incredibly well capitalized. In fact, their balance sheets are fatter than they've been in decades. Corporate profits are strong, the American consumer is strong, and the underlying economy acts as a floor or a backbone when we get these kind of gyrations. Reason number three, that what we're experiencing now is not an indicator of a looming financial crisis like we saw in 2001, like we saw in 2008 even. The economy itself is not the reason why the market is down 25%. An outside, what we call event-driven crisis. Now, we've been on the phone with infectious disease doctors and Harvard medicine PhDs and folks that are at the epicenter of what's going on, trying to understand its impact. And we're getting information day by day, just like you are. But the reality is that today we've got 401k participants. We've got folks that would usually not even pay attention because of this, day trading their investments. And we know in the short term what takes precedent: supply and demand. And when all the sellers have finally sold, the only thing that's left is buyers. This is the first social media frenzy and epidemic health-wise that we've ever seen. Now, the nearly 3 billion Facebook users can keep you updated in real time with what's going on in the rest of the world. Whereas when the swine flu took place in 2009, and there were nearly 60 million Americans infected with the H1N1 virus, the swine flu. Facebook had just taken off the ground. There was no Snapchat, there was no Twitter, and there certainly was no Instagram. But that's changed now. By the way, estimates say that at the height of the H1N1 virus, and that was just 12 years ago, that nearly 600,000 people passed away. Now, we're not making light in any way of the coronavirus or its potential impacts or anything, but what most Americans are concerned about, what most global economies are concerned about is, will we stop consuming? Well, here's what I can tell you. If in fact we go to a quarantine situation here, like we've seen in other countries, I'm still going to drink my coffee. I love Diet Mountain Dew. Many of you may even know that. I'm going to still drink my Diet Mountain Dew. My family still needs to eat. We will still consume. Now, we won't consume things like cruises or flights, but we will consume. What do all these points have to do with the 25% drop? We have a very strong conviction that the market is way oversold, that it's detached from the actual economic data, which in the short term, when your supply and demand takes over, doesn't necessarily help your account balances. But here's what it does do. When the market finds its footing, and we've got strong belief that we're pretty close to that footing now, the upside velocity will likely happen as quick or more quickly than the downside velocity. So here's what I'd like to do. You're getting this video because we've been in a relationship at some point and at some level. And I don't want to assume that you're getting the kind of guidance that makes you sleep well at night. Anyone who receives this video, we are making ourselves available for a 15-minute private phone call to help you walk through some of the things we've talked about here and how that applies to your situation. In just a moment when I finish, our information, in case you've misplaced it, will be on the screen. Please, if you have any kind of discomfort or heartburn, we want to help you walk through this and give you the same level of comfort that we've been able to give our clients in 26 states. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to spending a little more time talking with you personally.